Hello students, this is Murari Daman. I am here to discussing about NEET Zoology. In NEET Zoology part, today I am going to discuss about excretion. Whenever we talk about excretion, we need to discuss about two words such as one is excretion and second one is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation. Whenever we are talking about excretion, we need to discuss about two words. One is excretion, second one is the osmoregulation. Because these two terms, excretion and osmoregulation, these are the closely associated terms each other. How these two terms are closely associated together? For example, so excretion nothing but, as you know, there are so many metabolic activities that takes place inside the body. When these metabolic activities are happening inside the body, a lot of waste materials also produced inside the body. If lot of waste materials, if these are not eliminated from the body, they create toxic conditions inside the body. Finally, they are leading to the death of the person. So that's why we need to eliminate the waste materials that are produced inside the body due to the metabolic activities. So excretion nothing but elimination of waste from the body is called excretion. Elimination of waste from the body is called excretion. And what is osmoregulation? You know, what is the chief component inside the body? Some of the electrolytes also takes place inside the body as well. So these water and electrolytes are electrolytes, nothing but different kinds of ions. So if they are proper concentration present inside the body, there is no problem at all. Otherwise, if they are increased inside the body or if they are reduced inside the body, both are creating the problem. So that's why maintaining the proper water and ionic balance inside the body is called as osmoregulation. Maintenance of water and ionic balance in body is called osmoregulation. Maintenance of water and ionic balance inside the body is called osmoregulation. That means we need to maintain the equilibrium condition of the water and ions inside the body always. So otherwise, they are also creating a lot of problems inside the body. Then, we are talking about waste materials inside the body. Nitrogenous waste, carbon dioxide, excess amount of water, and some of the vitamins, especially water soluble vitamins, some pigments like bile pigments, and some of the ions like sodium, potassium, chloride ions, and phosphate ions. So these are the nitrogenous waste, carbon dioxide, excess amount of water, vitamins, pigments, sodium, potassium, chloride ions, phosphate ions. These are the waste materials which have to be eliminated from the body. Then, how these waste materials are produced inside the body? There are different sources waste materials are produced inside the body. Basically, by two sources waste materials are produced inside the body. Then we are going to discuss what are the two ways by which the waste materials are produced inside the body. Such as, one is external source Second one is internal source. As you know, in our day-to-day life, we are ingesting the different kinds of food materials into the body. The ingested food may contain the different kinds of proteins in it. When these proteins are intaken into the body, once they are taken into the body, they are broken down into small particles. They are known as the amino acids. And these amino acids, they are converted into nitrogenous waste inside the body. So when we ingest the food, that food may contain the proteins. The proteins broken down inside the body. When the proteins broken down, they are modified into amino acids. Some of the amino acids, once again, they are useful for the production of new proteins inside the body. Some excess amount of amino acids, they are converted into nitrogenous waste. And these nitrogenous wastes have to be eliminated from the body. And what is the internal source? And the proteins not only come into the body by the ingestion of the food, the body also preserves some amount of proteins, and these proteins broken down, they are modified into amino acids, and these amino acids, once again, they are converted into nitrogenous waste inside the body. So there are three kinds of nitrogenous waste produced inside the body, which are more toxic substances, and there are different kinds of nitrogenous wastes are produced inside the body, and majorly here we are going to discuss about there are three kinds of nitrogenous wastes which are formed inside the body. And what are the major nitrogenous wastes? Such as, one is ammonia, second one is urea, and third one is uric acid. The organisms which excrete the ammonia as the chief excretory material, those organisms are known as ammonotelic organisms. Ammonotelic organisms. Okay? The process by which ammonia is eliminated by the ammonotelic organisms, that process name is known as ammonotelism. And urea. The organisms which excrete the urea as their chief excretory material, those organisms are known as ureotelic organisms. And the process by which these ureotelic organisms excrete the urea, that process name is ureotelism. And the organisms which excrete the uric acid as their chief excretory material, those organisms are called uricotelic organisms. The process by which these uricotelic organisms excrete the uric acid, that process name is called uricotelism. So these are the chief excretory materials which are excreted by the different kinds of organisms. Among these three kinds of excretory materials, the ammonia is the more toxic substance. Ammonia is the more toxic than all nitrogenous waste. So, for the excretion of ammonia, organisms requires the more water. That is the reason all aquatic organisms, to excrete the ammonia, they are discharged or they eliminate the huge amount of water from their body into outside. This huge amount of water, it is not available to the terrestrial organisms. So that's why in terrestrial organisms, this toxic ammonia, first it is converted into less toxic substances like urea and uric acid. Then that is eliminated from the bodies of terrestrial organisms.